Good afternoon, high school baseball fans, and welcome out to Portland, Texas. We're back with another press conference, this one for the 2021 regional quarterfinals. It's a 29-5A showdown. The Carroll Tigers, the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, they will tangle, and the Ray Texans and the Veterans Memorial Eagles, they will tangle as well. I'm Jake Vasquez, and I will be guiding you through the press conference, myself and Matt Rogers, when we get underway in about 15 minutes. But right now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about these teams and about the young men and the coaches that you're going to see here this afternoon at this press conference. We're going to start with the Ray Texans and the Veterans Memorial Eagles, and we'll hear from both of those teams. And as a matter of fact, let's see who we're going to hear from first in that in that from that matchup. Let me put those up here for you. So for the Ray Texans, it's going to be head coach Orlando Ruiz. He'll bring with him senior Jack Martinez, sophomore Jack Bell, and sophomore Kevin Goss. And for the Veterans Memorial Eagles, it's going to be head coach Lee Yeager, and he is bringing senior Dalen Pena, senior Jose Acuna, and junior Xavier Perez. So that's who you'll hear from here in just a bit. And then later on this afternoon, we will have the Carroll Tigers and the Gregory-Portland Wildcats. And when those guys come up to the stage, representing the Carroll Tigers, head coach David Marcello, senior J.J. Bush, senior Gilbert Gonzalez, and junior Nick Matridis. And representing the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, head coach Ronnie Jonesy, senior Malachi Lott, and senior Walker Yannick, along with senior Robbie Spencer. So that is who will represent the Gregory-Portland Wildcats. And so let's talk about records and how these guys got there. And we're going to go over to the 361hsblast.com site, and we're going to have a look at the records, and I'm going to give you some information on how these guys got here. So let's look at records first. Bring this down here to the standings, and on the far right you've got the 29-5A standings. Gregory-Portland Wildcats finishing district play 14-2 in district, and they come into this weekend 33-2-1 overall. The Veterans Memorial Eagles finished in the second spot, 12-3 in district play, 26-6-1 overall are the Eagles. The Ray Texans in the third spot, they finished district play at 11-5 and 29-6 coming into the weekend. And the Carroll Tigers, Coach Marcello says the Cinderfella team, they finished district play after starting 0-6, finished 8-8 to claim that final playoff spot, and they are 21-13-1 overall. And let's talk first. We're going to start with the district champions, the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, and so let's look at the Wildcats. They are coming in on a 10-game win streak. So the Wildcats have won their last 10. And let's look at what they did against the Carroll Tigers during the district play. Let's bring this down here. And they met up with the Carroll Tigers. It was in week 2. I'm going to bring it all the way to the top there for you guys to see it. Week 2, so March 1st, it was a Monday. They played at Wildcat Field, and the Gregory-Portland Wildcats with an 8-0 win in that first district ball game against the Carroll Tigers. And then they met up again. I'll bring it all the way to the top here. Met up again on a Saturday at Cabinets Field. April 10th was the date of that ball game, and it was a 10-0 loss in 5 innings for the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, their first loss of the season. So those two teams split during district play, so it'll be interesting to see. They're both very different ball clubs at this point in the game, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how that matchup plays out. And let's look now at the Carroll Tigers, since they are matching up with Gregory-Portland. So the Tigers, they are coming in on a 4-game win streak. So the Tigers on a 4-game win streak. And let's talk about how these two teams got there. So we know how they did in district. We know how they fared against each other. So let's go over to the regional quarterfinal page over on 361hsblast.com, and we'll have a look. So there's the matchup, and there are the dates right there. We're going to have an update for you on location here in just a bit, and we'll get to that. But the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, you take a look there in the bi-district play, swept Mission Vets 9-0 first game, 11-3 in that second ball game. Carroll had to go 3 with Rio Grande City, lost the first game 8-3, but went to Rio Grande City and doubled them up over there, 12-4 in the first game, or rather the second game of the series, first game in Rio Grande City, and 11-4 in Game 3 to advance. And then last weekend, Gregory-Portland sweeping Sherryland 3-2 in Game 1, 7-0 in Game 2, and the Carroll Tigers sweeping Brownsville-Porter 7-3 in Game 1, 2-0 in Game 2. Next week, the winner of this series will face the winner of number 7 Cedar Park. They were the winner of District 25 at 36-2 overall versus Leander Rouse. Rouse, the 4th place team out of 25, and they are 25-10 overall. So that's the matchup between the Gregory-Portland Wildcats and the Carroll Tigers. Now let's have a look at the Veterans Memorial Eagles and Ray. So the Eagles coming in on a 4-game win streak, and the Eagles, let's see what they did against the Ray Texans in district play. Let's bring this down here. Let's find the Ray Texans. Here we go. And that was in week 4. They played the Ray Texans at Whataburger Field, a 2-0 win in that first ball game. And I see the second matchup right there on April 16th. That game played at Whataburger, or rather at Cabinets Field, and a 9-5 win for the Eagles. So the Eagles sweeping the Texans in both ball games during district play. And again, a couple of teams that are very, very different look, very different feel here coming in, to the playoffs. So let's look. The Ray Texans, they are on a 4-game win streak, and let's also have a look at how these two teams got there. So let's bring that up again. Not Carroll Tigers. This is what we want. And let's have a look at the matchup here between the Veterans Memorial Eagles and the Ray Texans. So there is the schedule. We'll go over that, like I said, here in a bit. In the bi-district round, the Veterans Memorial Eagles in a 1-game playoff, 14-1 win over Roma. The Ray Texans were in a 3-game series. They swept La Jolla Palmview 6-0 in Game 1, 16-6 in Game 2. And in the area round, a Veterans Memorial sweeping Brownsville Veterans Memorial 4-0 in Game 1, 13-3 in Game 2. Ray sweeping McAllen 4-3 in Game 1, 12-4 in Game 2. And the winner of this series will face the winner of Dripping Springs and Alamo Heights. And Dripping Springs, the runner-up in 26-5A, 25-10-1 overall. And Alamo Heights, the 3rd-place team out of 26. And they are 23-10 overall. So that is going to be the matchup there, and I think these guys are just about ready to get underway. So let's see if we can get set here.
Gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the District 29 5A State Quarterfinal News Conference. I want to extend our heartfelt thanks to the City of Portland for helping us make this happen. I'm going to go right down the line for our viewers through the live stream. This is the Veterans Memorial Ray portion of today's news conference. And with us on the dais today, Head Coach Lee Yeager of Veterans Memorial. Coach Yeager brought 3 of his players, Dalen Pena, Xavier Perez, and Jose Acuna. And then representing the Ray Texans, Head Coach Ole Ruiz, Jack Martinez, Jack Bell, and Kevin Goff. So, Coach Yeager, we'll ask you to make an opening statement.
First of all, thank the media. We appreciate you guys covering our sport. I mean, we think baseball is one of the greatest games in the world, and it's good that we're able to show the world the game, and we just appreciate you guys covering us. And, we feel blessed that we're able to do this. The only place probably ever does this in South Texas, so we're in the right spot as far as baseball is concerned. So we really appreciate everybody showing their concern about our program and about our sport. We're happy to be here. I mean, our mantra is practice every Monday, or practice another Monday, and we did that again, so we're good. We're excited to be here, and now it's just about, unfortunately we got to play our own district, and that kind of stinks, but, that's the way it is, and, hopefully we'll be ready to go, and we got a tough Ray team this week, so we'll see how it goes.
Coach Reed?
First of all, same thing, guys. I want to thank the media for being here. I want to thank Jake Vasquez, Matt Rogers for Blast Vision, 361 Blast. Coming into this series, we always, I was telling these guys in 2017, it kind of was the same thing, playing our district. So I kind of remember it from 2017. So it's a blessing just being here, being part of this, being part of South Texas, being part of the Coastal Bend area. So I'm trying to just, relive it. It's awesome. It's awesome to have these young men right next to us. So hopefully, we have a good series against Vets. They're tough. They beat us twice during the district. Hopefully, we can make it a good series. Thank you for having us here.
We'll get one of the obligatory questions out of the way first. Coach Yeager, what are your pitching plans for the rest series?
We had our series, we went Thursday, Saturday, and, we're still kind of in the midst of trying to figure exactly how we want to match up with those guys. We're not sure. We feel like they've done the same thing each week, so we kind of think we have a plan, but we're going to see how matchups go. And I think we got about a 50% plan right now where we're going to go. We're still in the process of it's really a health issue and time issue, and make sure our guys are healthy, and we can mix and match how we want to mix, because we got, in our opinion, 2 1As and a 1. So we feel good about our 3 guys, and whichever rotation we take, I think we'll be okay.
You already told me the secret, Coach. Well, for us, we're going to keep it the same. Whatever's working right now, we're going to go with Jack Martinez on Thursday. We got Keevan on Friday. So that's our rotation, and we're going to keep it the same. Keep what's working. So we're going to keep it the same.
Orly, while you've got the mic there, I realize you're just one day into this week. What's the mood around the program?
Oh, it's excitement. These guys are excited. We got 2 sophomores over here that that haven't felt this excited. So it's just excitement all around. So we're having fun.
Coach Yeager, you good at your place?
We're focused. The big thing for us right now is just try to stay focused. And try to understand what's ahead of us and how difficult it's going to be. And I don't know if we're having fun or not. I just know we're locked in, and I think our guys just, that because of the experience we have, we understand that there's a lot more to go, and obviously we want to play a lot longer. And so I think our vision is just, let's take care of each week and try to figure it out. They haven't celebrated much. We just kind of go play, and we've won those 2 rounds. It hasn't been anything where we've kind of excessively celebrated. I think they understand that it's a mission, and we got a bunch of weeks that we got to play really well. And I just think they come to work every day and they're ready to go. So I feel good about where we are. I think our best practices this year have been the last 4 weeks, and we had a team meeting about 3.5 weeks ago, and the time. After that team meeting, I think we got some things off our chest, and I think everybody feels comfortable with where we're going and how we're going to coach them. And our guys are probably more coachable in the last 4 weeks than I've probably ever coached kids in my career. It's been amazing. We made just little tweaks with some of our guys, and they're really locked in, and they're really they're receptive to what we're trying to do, and I think they see the plan, and I think hopefully we can follow the plan and have some success.
Lee, you talked about Ray on a number of occasions, and what makes him a dangerous club. Could you review that for us?
They're scrappy. It's not about talent. It's really not. Everybody's talented, and they've got talent up and down the lineup. It's not about talent anymore. And like I said before, they do the intangibles really well. They run well. They can play a small game. They can play a big game. They They got power arms. You know, they got what you need to win this time of year. So, you know, they're going to be really tough to beat. Although they're a little bit youthful. I mean, you know, there's nothing to say you can't take 5, 6, 7 sophomores to the state tournament and win it. You know, that's been done before by us when we were at Carroll. So, if you think because you're youthful that's an advantage, I think you're wrong. Because a lot of times the youthful players have no idea what the big stage is. They just go play the game, and that's kind of what our guys are doing right now. So, but I mean, you know, they can do it all. There's nothing they can't do on the field. They've been really good defensively. They played well. They pounded the strike zone. They put hitters in a defensive mode. And, you know, they got really good players. So, I mean, I respect everything they're doing over there. And, you know, I think we're kind of in that mode of trying to stay low like they usually do. And I think because of all this media coverage, we've been able to kind of pull that off a little bit with Carroll playing so well. We just kind of trying to ride under the radar. So, but I mean, I'm impressed with the way they play, and you know, it's going to be a series. It's going to be a tough series for both teams. I think both teams have qualities that match up well against each other, and you know, like I said, it's probably going to come down to who can make the plays in the moment, and that's probably what it's going to be.
Worley, your opportunity to talk about Beth.
Oh man, you know, they're the powerhouse. We call it the evil empire. But just going back to Vets, man, they're experienced. You know, they've been there before. They know what it takes. So it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be like Coach said. It's gonna be a lot. You're gonna get opportunities, and you better, you know, make the most of those. So, you know, they got 2 great pitchers. 3, Dayton. Now all of a sudden he's pitching too. So, you know, they're senior ball club. You know, they have some sophomores in there in that ball club too, but they've been there, so they know what it takes. And that's where we come around, you know, come along, and hopefully we can, you know, stay excited, and hopefully these sophomores don't know what they're doing out there, just having fun. Sometimes that's what it takes.
Tell us about the 3 players you brought today, and what makes them so good at what they do.
Well, we got Big Jack Martinez. He's a senior. He hasn't played since his freshman year, basically, you know, and I knew it. If he's healthy, he's going to be the X factor for us this year. Not only on the mound, but as a player, you know, as a first baseman, as a hitter. So he's been our X factor all year long, you know, I believe he led the team in hitting too. So we got Big Jack Bell over here. He's a sophomore. He's one of those kids that as a freshman, he got to play a little bit because of COVID. You know, he didn't get to play the whole season. But he's well experienced. He's been a great Texan since he was 5 years old. So he knows what it takes, the tradition and stuff like that for baseball. We got Kevin Goss. He's a sophomore too. Got to pitch some games last year, so we got into a little bit of experience. But at this point in the playoffs, you get big crowds, you get, you know, a lot of people out there and stuff like that. So hopefully he's having fun right now. You know, he's having fun and just, you know, staying focused and trying to pitch the game. And plus he's a player also on the field, so he plays first base when Jack pitches and vice versa. So we just want to go out there and have fun and play hard. That's all we ask of these guys.
Leader 3.
Well, these guys have been with us, you know, when we went to the tournament in 18. Dale was a freshman, probably the hottest hitter in the state at that time. And, you know, he's got that experience. He understands what the objective is. And so he understands, you know, where we're going, what we're trying to do. And also, Jose Acuna threw all of our game 1s that year. So the experience that those 2 have, I mean, we lean on those guys heavily. And, you know, so those are kind of the cornerstone of our program right now. Unfortunately, they can only stay 4 years. But, you know, if we could get a red shirt somehow, Acuna's had some injuries, so maybe we could get an extra year for him. But, no, those guys are our guys. You know, we're going to lean on those guys, and we told you that at the beginning of the year, that our pitching is going to be our key, and that's why we brought all 3 of these guys, because they're the guys that are going to do it. And obviously, Xavier came in a year after these 2 guys, and Xavier's a high-profile pitcher that plays really good summer ball in a quality program. And so these are the 3 guys that we feel have the ability to kind of lead our team, you know, into that deep playoff run, which is what we're trying to do. So, I mean, we talked to these guys at the very beginning of the year, and we told them, I mean, I remember the first night we had practice, we took them over behind the building, and I talked to these guys, and I said, you're going to have to be an extension of your coaches this year. And obviously, we believe these three guys can be those guys. And I think Robbie may have been another one, our shortstop. So, but we needed those guys to really be on board with us and you know, show the young guys how to do things, because we lost a lot of leadership last year. So these are the three guys that we're counting on, and they're going to be the guys that carry us as far as we go. You know, as far as we're going to go. If we go any further, that's going to be the reason why these three guys, and that's why I brought these three guys.
So Dan, you're the most experienced player here, just in terms of service time in your years at the Vets. What is it about this particular Vets team that makes it special?
Simply the love that we have for each other. I mean, unfortunately, we weren't able to come as close last year due to COVID and everything, but this year we found a bond late in the year. Coach said we had a deep conversation with him, and we really found each other's love and passion for the game, and I really like where we're going right now, and I think we're on the right page, and this is probably the best team I've played for in the last 4 years.
What did it take that as well, Senator, and Jose, to talk about this?
The reason that this team is so great is because, you know, we might not have as much talent as we did last year, but, you know, the bond that we had, like David said, is pretty great. You know, we find a way to get it done on the field, and, you know, play really good together.
They took the word right out of my mouth. There's not much to say on that, but I mean, I can't agree with them more. It's more of a brotherhood than anything. It's not just teammates, it's family. So we go out there and play for each other, and we realize that we was a good day last year and all the other seniors last year, so we play as good as we can for each other, and we just realize that this could be it. Every game could be the last game, so we just really take that into account.
Jose, let's stay with you here. You had to overcome some adversity with injury earlier in the calendar. What was the most difficult part of that, managing your hamstring rehab and recovery?
Just realizing that being healthy was the most important thing. I was real focused on the end of the year, just coming back as fast as I could, things like that, and I didn't realize how much I was hurting the team doing that. So me and Coach Yeager had a talk at the end of the year. We realized that being healthy was the most important thing. So as soon as I got healthy and got back on the field, everything started working good.
This was for Jack. What's your take on those two fellas sitting to your left? You know, Coach Yeager talked about youth as did Coach Ruiz, advantages and disadvantages. What's your take on their reasons for success?
Well, I think a massive reason for their success is, I mean, they're bulldogs. These guys will go out there, regardless of who they're playing, play the same game every single time, the same effort. And the fact that they're both leaders as sophomores is definitely a big factor, which has carried our team, including that chemistry, which definitely carried us this year. But I mean, the fact that they don't care who they're playing against, they're just going to go out there and play the same way every time. It's definitely part of their what keeps them going.
Wouldn't mind passing it on to Jack. The other two. You know, Jack, you've long had a reputation as an outstanding defensive player. Even at a young age. What's made the difference for you at the plate this season?
During the offseason, got a lot stronger, weight room, and just having that experience from last year, even though it was cut short, getting my timing down with these pitchers, and like I said, just getting all stronger.
And Keegan, in addition to growing as a pitcher this year, you've had a breakout season offensively. How much satisfaction has that brought you, and what have been the differences for you at the plate?
I mean, it feels really good just helping my team out and coming up in big moments, and on the leading side, it's just it was big big difference for me coming into the season, but I'm taking the job done and help our teammates out. That's all that matters.
Let's move back over here. With all the early season issues the pitching staff had, Coach Day and Coach Miller were not helping, particularly early on in district play during the tournament season. You clearly embraced the challenge and you thrived. What was that experience like?
Honestly, I love that experience. You know, I got a lot of amount time that's definitely helped us here in the postseason. It was unfortunate that Jake Miller was out for the season and that Mosset got hurt early, but we knew that once we were going to get Mosset back, that he'd be rolling. And thankfully, he came back just on time, and we're getting our feet at the right moment.
Back to Jack Martinez. What's it like to be an older brother type, a mentor for all the young players in the right program?
Well, as the coach said earlier, it really is my first year playing back since freshman year. So I think, it almost kind of sounds bad. I mean, not having the expectations for myself that I've been here before, so I kind of have, people look up to me as like, oh, he's that senior who's been there. I think putting myself in that situation has made kind of that older brother role more fun and beneficial to the guys. And I hope they say I'm the leader. I mean, I expect on the field, which I think I would be. So yeah, it's been fun to be that older brother.
And what's it like for the two of y'all to be part of such a strong core of young players, and only 3 everyday starters who are 12th graders?
It's really an honor just to be a young guy here and starting. But, it's definitely a lot of fun. I know we're going to be just as good as next year. And like you said, looking up to him.
Just like you said, it's fun thinking of that we're going to be playing with each other for the next couple of years. It's really fun to look forward to.
Orly, can you expand on what it's like to have such a young collection of talent, coalesce all at once?
It's awesome. It's awesome. I know Coach Yeager experienced that with his freshman ball club whenever Dana was a freshman, when he was a freshman. They got to that, to the state tournament. And, just having kids, that are coming back and they're going to be there for the next 3 years. So it's pretty awesome, and it's basically fun. It's fun right now, especially when you win. When you win, it's fun. So I'm having fun, they're having fun. So the whole community is having fun in Woodley High School.
This is for any of the 6 players. How special is it to be matched up against these guys this week? You root for each other over the course of last week.
I'll go ahead and take this one. It's awesome. You play against these kids growing up, and we're all part of the same community, so rooting for the guys, whether they're on our team or not, it's just something we do as a community, whether it be Carroll, GP, or Ray. We root for everybody just to get to the same position as we're in. So now that we're playing them, we expect to go out there and do our jobs like we're supposed to. And if it happens, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So we're rooting either way.
Like Coach Day said, I think the South Texas baseball community is as close-knit as it gets. We've been playing, I think I've played with every single guy at some point, probably on GP, Carroll, on all these platforms, and against them as well. And that shows how close it is, and we've definitely been rooting for each other since a young age as well. We will when they get to the next level. And so I think, it's awesome to be able to play against these guys for so long, and it kind of takes, I was going to say takes the pressure away, but it almost adds it thinking about it now, but it'll be good.
One final question, and this is for any of you 6. What's it like to be where you are now, having perhaps as young as toddlers at the ballpark, won games of cabinets, or going to Valley Hoop games at whatever field or and watching Corpus baseball to now have the opportunity to play on this stage as you do.
This is me again. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, we go out there. We used to go out there when we were younger. I mean, I remember talking to Jaeger this year and remembering the time when they were at, what was that field coach? It wasn't being traded or something, somewhere else with Carroll and that field there. From Robson?
Oh, yeah, Aviator.
Aviator. I remember talking to him like that. It's just crazy to think about how we were younger watching these guys play and growing up watching people play, and now we're here on the big stage. So, I mean, we have a lot of expectations for each other as teammates and as players against each other. So it's awesome.
I think it's almost a surreal experience thinking about the memories you had when you were younger and like going to watch games at Cap. It's almost kind of anticlimactic because it's like it doesn't even feel real. It's like when you thought about it, like you're like, damn, these guys are big, these guys are good. Like, how am I going to compete? And then you get here and you almost don't even remember that feeling. Like that feeling's gone. So yeah, it's a surreal experience. It's definitely weird.
I think, from a young age, we've all had our goal to, wanted to be big leaguers. And, this is just part of the journey towards it. I think that, watching high school players when I was little, like Jack said, I always thought, man, those kids are huge and they're throwing hard, hitting balls hard, but we're in that position now and, we're going through the same things that they went through. And it's pretty surreal.
Both for both coaches, the level of the talent in our area is tremendous. You both alluded and said that already. I'm going to assume that the plan going in this last series was to win in 2. Did it shock you that all 4 teams won in 2?
When you get, I think after the second round, it starts to get real. I think the first 2 rounds, in our region, you have some guys. I think you play some teams that you should be able to beat. Depending on, of course, that second round, it could get hairy with some, the Pioneers and the Sherrylands who got upset. But, it surprises me a little bit. But, I mean, if you think about our district, you look at the scores in our district this year. They were 2-0, 5-2, 4-1. I mean, you didn't see many teams put up 8, 9, 10 runs, on a night-to-night basis. I can't think of any offense that was able to go out there and just pound out 9, 10 runs, So we've got quality arms every game we play. So that's going to make it difficult for people to beat you if they have the senior guys throw. And just like Ray, they've got 3 quality arms. We've got 3 quality arms. GP's got 4 quality arms. Carroll's got 2 quality arms. I mean, you're not going to go in and play one of these teams and not play somebody that you're just going to knock around. And I think from that standpoint, we understand that our pitching staffs are strong enough that we can go in and beat some of these guys, So in 2 games, obviously, I think that's difficult to do, period. But, because you're going to face their number 1 at some point, and their number 1 is usually pretty good. So, but, our district's strong. I said it at the beginning of the year, I think it's one of the best districts in the 5A in the state. That one in Austin with, Cedar Park and Liberty Hill and Georgetown and those guys, I'm sure they could say the same thing, but I don't think anybody saw the arms we saw night in and night out. I don't think that happened. So knowing that, I think that gives us an opportunity to go into each game and have a chance to win each game because we've got guys that can keep that score down and give us a chance to win. Now, obviously they got to throw like they're supposed to throw, and if they do that, I think it gives everybody a good chance to win. So yeah, I'm a little surprised at 2 straight wins, but in the back of my mind, I wasn't real surprised because I just knew the arms that we had in our district.
Same thing with me. I think Jake mentioned it in the post interview. I said, "Were you surprised? You swept McAllen in 2 straight games, and are you surprised of what's happening with GP, Carroll? It's no surprise. I told Jake, anybody that comes out of this district, it's 4 top teams, they're going to advance for sure. I believe, because of quality arms. We've got 2, 3 D1 commits over here on this side. We got one D1 commit, D3, I believe, and Jackson the verge of committing pretty soon, so D1 also. So we got quality arms, you know, from all four teams. So I believe it wasn't a surprise. You know, it was just, you know, get them in two. That's what everybody's goal is, get them in two.
Hey, Coach Reed, you had to do this twice in 2017. So what lessons did you learn from that year that you can tell these guys about, you know, playing Cal Allen and beating them and then having to play Moody the regional final? So what can you tell them about that experience and how do you relate that to these guys?
Every day I tell them, as like Coach said, Coach Akers puts it, try to practice every Monday. You know, try to practice the next Monday. Have fun. You know, you only live once, so go out there and have fun, play hard. Baseball is a funny sport. You know, it can go either or. So, you know, these guys are men. These guys are men. They put on the same uniform, same way. You know, you don't have to be a giant to be a, you know, spectacular player. Just go out there, have fun, try to make, you know, every play, throw strikes. We tell our pitchers throw strides and play great defense. So, you know, we try to preach that to them, and you know, it has to be a team. That's one of the main messages for these guys. Play as a team, you win as a team, you lose as a team. So, you know, that's one of our you know, experience with 2017. We played as a team. So hopefully, you know, we get to experience that this year.
Anybody else?
Got a question for Xavier and also for Steven. Xavier, not only have you get these guys, you've had a lot of success in terms of this play. I know you're a confident guy to begin with, but how much is that going to help coming into this series? Obviously, I get deep playoffs, but just, you know, success and how to use the right technique.
Well, you know, going in, I'm not going to take them lightly. They've seen me twice already, so, you know, they got a pretty, I guess, you know, better scouting report on me, so I know it's hard to beat a team 3 times. You know, go in there and not take them lightly and just do business as usual.
You kind of thinking, maybe in those earlier rounds, like going off scouting departments, trying to find video of hitters and things like that. I mean, you pitch against these guys, you know the lineup. How much is that going to help you just facing those guys before coming into the series?
It's going to be really helpful, but just keep playing the game and just keep trying to stay successful, give my defense a chance, and just stack them, throwing strikes, you know, just giving us more positive than negative.
I have one final question. How are you guys visiting us from there with the 2 coaches? Any kind of potential fallback plans that you can tell us about your perspective?
Hope it doesn't rain. No, I mean, you know, we've been, if you've been in the playoffs before, you've had to do this multiple times, and you know, we've done it. We've chased fields all over the state for a couple of years. So, I mean, obviously we want to play a series. Both teams want to play a series, and you know, the good part is he won a flip, and we went Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that means that gives us some leeway for a series. We wanted Friday, Saturday. He went Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Friday, Saturday would have put us in a bind, possibly put us in a one-game scenario. So, you know, if we don't get a game in on Thursday or Friday, then it's going to be a one-gamer on Saturday or Monday. So I think we both want to try to find a place to play, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to get a game in on Thursday or get a game in on Friday. I think that's going to be the goal for us. You know, we just call around the turf fields, and you know, hopefully there's a window we can get it in. You know, and I guess it's the scariest part of it is that, you know, you don't want to start to stop. You know, and that's the hard part, because if you get in there and you get your guy hot and he goes in and then throws 2 innings and then you got to stop and come back 2 hours later, you know, none of us have that depth. I mean, I know we don't. So, you know, we got to be able to get that game in, get that window open, and go in there and play that game and hope good things can happen. But you know, it's going to be a hectic situation this weekend. I promise. I hope not, but from what I'm seeing, it's going to be hectic. We're probably going to be moving around a little bit, and hopefully cabinets is clear, and we can get in there and play. You know, like I I said the big key right now is just get a game Thursday or Friday, and then we'll worry about Saturday after that. But I mean, we've called all the turf fields around the city. We're just going to try to figure out where we can play. So that's really the contingent plans right now is just try to find a place to play and get on a bus and go. So I'm sure Coach feels the same way.
Did you guys been cleared to play in the morning, if possible?
Well, we haven't looked at that. You know, I mean, part of my thought process would be, you know, to try to play the weather. You know, try to figure out what the percentages are and play that weather. We, you know, possibly we could do that when we get some kind of hourly look at it, and there is a window. Since we're both in the same district and we're only, 15 miles apart, it'd be easy for us to just adapt to something like that. So certainly that would be an option as we move forward. You know, if we were playing somebody in the valley, that'd be a difficult situation. But because we're so close, we should be all mobile enough to just get on a bus and go somewhere. So, yeah, I mean that's definitely an option. We haven't looked at that yet because we're so far out. But when we get closer, I would imagine that would be something we look at.
All good? All right, I think the team reporters are ready. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate y'all being here.
That's going to wrap up this session with the Veterans Memorial Eagles and the Ray Texans. And again, let's show you guys the schedule for these two teams as they were talking about, possibility of changes due to the weather. So for the Ray Texans and the Veterans Memorial Eagles, they will start on Thursday, 7 p.m. first pitch. Game 2 scheduled for Friday, 7 p.m. first pitch, and Game 3, if needed, scheduled for Saturday at 12 p.m. All games right now scheduled for Cabinets Field, and like Coach Yeager said, hoping that the weather will cooperate. If it does not, they're going to look at several different things. They're already working on, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, whatever they have to do. Both these teams definitely want to try and play a series. Nobody ever wants it to go down to being just one game, but if that were to be the case, then of course, that's what it would have to be. But they're going to do everything they can to try and make this a series, and we'll certainly keep you guys posted on any changes between these two teams. So so you guys be checking us out on 361hsblast.com and on Blast Vision. We'll be keeping you up to date with any schedule changes in any of these series that we've got going on. So we're going to take a quick break, and we've got the Carroll Tigers and the Gregory-Portland Wildcats coming up next. You guys hang tight. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Portland, Texas. We are at the Portland, I think it's your convention center. It's a brand new building, nice, really, really nice facilities. This is where we were for the first press conference, and we are back here today. Coming up, we have the Carroll Tigers and the Gregory-Portland Wildcats. Let's show you who we got coming up representing these two teams. For the Carroll Tigers, head coach David Marcello, senior J.J. Bush, senior Gilbert Gonzalez, and junior Nick Matridis. And for the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, head coach Ronnie Jonesy, senior Malachi Lott, senior Walker Yannick, and senior Robbie Spencer coming up for the Wildcats here in just a few. So let's go back again, and we can have a look and see what these two teams did while we're waiting for them to get up on the stage here. Gregory-Portland Wildcats, of course, were the first place finish out of District 29 5A. And let's get you that here. So we'll bring that up. And so over on the far right, 29 5A standings, Gregory-Portland Wildcats, first place first place finish, 14-2 in district. They are 33-2-1 coming into the weekend. The Carroll Tigers taking that fourth spot. They finished district play at 8-8, 21-13-1 overall are the Carroll Tigers. And we mentioned before the Gregory-Portland Wildcats coming in on a 10-game win streak, getting our information off of 361hsblast.com. So can get all of the information there. The Carroll Tigers coming in on a 4-game win streak. And let's go to the quarterfinals page for 5A, and we'll give you the matchup here. So for the Gregory-Portland Wildcats and the Carroll Tigers, series information to start right there, schedule and results, best of 3 series. There is going to be a change. The dates and the times are all going to stay the same. That first game tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at Cavanis Field. But game 2 and 3, if needed, they will still be Thursday and Saturday. Thursday at 7, Saturday at 1. But those games are going to be in Ingleside instead of Wildcat Field here in Portland. And that is due to the soggy conditions. So a little bit of a change there. Again, we'll go back and talk about the by-district results. The Gregory-Portland Wildcats sweeping Mission Veterans Memorial 9-0 in Game 1, 11-3 in Game 2. Carroll Tigers took it to 3 against Rio Grande City, losing Game 1 at home. 8-3 was the final at Cavanis Field, and then they went over to Rio Grande City and won 2 games on a hot Saturday afternoon. We were there with them. 12-4 in Game 2 and 11-4 in Game 3 to advance to the area round. And then last weekend, Gregory-Portland and Carroll both sweeping their Valley opponents. Gregory-Portland sweeping Sherryland 3-2 in Game 1, 7-0 in Game 2. And the Carroll Tigers sweeping Brownsville-Porter 7-3 in Game 1 and 2-0 in Game 2. These winner of this series will face the winner of number 7 Cedar Park and Leander Rouse. Cedar Park, the winner of District 25, and they are 36-2 overall. And Rouse, the 4th place team out of 25, they are 25-10. And about to get underway here. It looks like as Matt Rogers setting up the stage for us, and looks like the Gregory-Portland Wildcats will be on the left-hand side, the Carroll Tigers on the right-hand side, and those two teams about to take the stage here. And so a big showdown. It's a pretty exciting deal. We haven't seen anything like this since 2017, where 29-5A at the time in 2017 they were 35A, and they also swept. And the matchups were Ray against Calallen and King against Moody. And so in 2017, we had this kind of excitement with 4 area teams matching up against each other. The winners out of those series were the Ray Texans. They beat the Calallen Wildcats, and I believe that series went 3 games, and the Texans taking 2 of 3, and then the Moody Trojans and the King Mustangs, with the Trojans sweeping the Mustangs. And what was the coolest part of 2017 was, for the first time in CCISD history, the Ray Texans and the Moody Trojans met up in the Region 4 final for a chance to go to state. So, it was pretty exciting. We knew there was going to be a CCISD team representing Region 4 at the state tournament no matter what. And it sold out at Whataburger Field, the series between Ray and Moody. It was a great series and a lot of fun, and it's something that we're hoping for. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. We're hoping for that. We know at least 2 of these teams will advance to next week, and that's pretty awesome. And I do want to mention, the same kind of thing happening over in District 33A, with London, Banquete, Bishop, and Hebronville, and those 4 teams rather have all swept, and advanced, and they will be squaring off against each other coming up this weekend as well. So pretty awesome stuff going on. And as a matter of fact, you look at the 4A, and we still have four 4A teams out of the area that are in the playoffs. You've got Sinton, Calallen, Toloso Midway, and Alice. Now Toloso Midway, Alice having to play each other, so only one team can advance there. But you got the possibility of still having four, you know, 4A teams alive going into next week. And, with Sinton, if they could win their series, and with Cal Allen, they're in a one-game playoff against Hutto. So, some pretty interesting things going on around the area. Rudy Trevino making a comment on the making a comment on the chat board, saying, it's awesome that the coaches and players agreed to the news conference. And actually, what I was trying to refer to was he made a tweet, talking about the local talent that we have here, and we talk about that all the time, and we know that we are blessed to have, to see the type of baseball that we see week in, week out, year to year here locally. So it looks like everybody is up on the stage. Let's go ahead and get that for you guys here. We got everybody up on the stage.
Okay, now for the Gregory-Portland Carroll portion of our news conference, the left to right here on the dais, head coach Ronnie Jonesy, GP, Malachi Lott, Walker Yannick, and Robbie Spencer. They represent the Wildcats. And then on the other side of Robbie, Carroll head coach David Marcello, along with J.J. Bush, Nick Matridis, and Gilbert Gonzalez. Ronnie, we'll ask you to start with the opening remarks.
First off, Matt, Jake, thanks for being here. Thanks for putting this thing together. We really appreciate what you guys do for Coastal Bend baseball. But as for the series, a lot of people keep asking us, are you happy that you're playing Carroll, or does it mean anything more? They gave you your first loss. And, really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who we're playing in the third round. If it was RGC or if it was Pioneer, we're going to come in with the same mindset. We just want to advance, and we're going to do whatever it takes to advance. And so, with it being Carroll, it may mean a little bit extra to the kids, but to me, we're just trying to advance. It doesn't matter who we play. We're just trying to execute, play Gregory-Portland baseball, and if we do that, we feel like everything's going to take care of itself. And I'm sure Coach Marcello, he's probably saying that to his guys. And, it doesn't matter who you play at this point. You're just trying to advance. You're trying to stay alive, and you're doing what you're supposed to do, or what you taught your kids to do for the last 3 or 4 months. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. Carroll's a good ball club. They've got a lot of momentum coming into this series. I'm sure they believe that they can play with us and that they're going to beat us. And we have that same mindset. We're riding where they are in the last 20 games, but they've been pretty hot. And with us, we've had that number 1, number 2, number 3 ranking for the majority of the year. And so we've got confidence that we can play at a high level. And so it's going to be a fun series. Whoever executes the best and whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is going to be a team that wins.
Echo Coach Jonesy's sentiments to you guys, to me. You guys have been awesome all year long. And I know a lot of people that I talk to across the state, and even some of my friends back in Northeastern, are pretty shocked and amazed and jealous of the coverage we get for high school baseball down here. So this stuff is phenomenal. It's great for these kids to be part of this and have the opportunity to speak in front of media now in high school. You don't see it very often. So appreciate everything you guys have done for us. So as far as, again, this series goes, like Coach said, I mean, you're in the third round of the playoffs. It's all about, how you feel coming into the game with doing what you do. It's not about who you play or where you play, for that matter. It's just, playing the game the right way, and then obviously, the outcome will take care of itself if you do what you're supposed to do in your own, teamwork time frame. What this means for Carroll, obviously, it's great for us to add to our legacy or of the Carroll Tiger baseball program as a whole. And, it's been documented, where we've come from to get to this point. But, that's all old news to us. Today's the day we're here, so we'll be where our feet are. I think it's great for the Coastal Bend in this area to have 4 teams from our district still playing baseball. The only unfortunate thing is for the fans is, of these 4 teams, 2 are going to have to go home after this weekend. And I think, any one of us 4 could really make it to the round robin. We're all that talented. We're all playing that well right now. We're all well coached. Like I said, confidence level, I think it says for both teams, pretty high. We're playing our games the way we do it. So it should be a really good matchup. I think I told Stu yesterday, buckle that seatbelt in and get your popcorn ready, because it's going to be worth the price of admission.
Coach Marcel. Coach Johnson, we've got to change the venue for your home games. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, just getting up to the field this morning and just realizing how wet it was, and our maintenance crew, they do a great job of preparing our field and getting it ready, no matter what the conditions are. But going out there this morning and seeing the amount of water that was on our field, I thought, if we don't take advantage of the turf field that's available right now, then we'll probably be kind of foolish. And so we went ahead and we agreed that instead of playing at GP, that we were going to play the game that we're supposed to be playing at GP at English. So that's been a change that we agreed on. So I think that gives us the best opportunity to play all 3 games in the series if it boils down to that. And so we agreed on that this morning. And so I guess it's going to be Wednesday at Cab, Thursday at Ingleside, and then Saturday at Ingleside.
Ron, while you still have the mic, can you talk a little bit about your pitching coach?
Yeah, I mean, we know who our 1 and 2 are. That's no surprise. Coach Marcel will probably tell you who's going to get up on the ball for game 1 and game 2. And then when it comes down to game 3, we're just going to throw the best available. Whoever that is, that's who we're going to throw, and we're just going to try to get to the next one. There's not really a plan in place as to who's going to throw game 3. If it's Walker or if it's Christian or if it's Braden, we're just going to throw the best available guy. And we're going to work through it as we get there. And again, the plan is just to play another week, try to survive.
David, some question for you.
Well, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing for the past, 6-7 weeks now. We'll get our workout today. And we'll see how we all feel, and we'll talk to our 2 main guys and see how they feel, and we'll make the adjustment today and decide who that game 1 starter will be. But ultimately, whoever it is, whether it's DJ or Nick, I think we're pretty confident in their abilities right now. Like I said, you got to win that first one to really start thinking about potentially a game 3 from that standpoint. So we're going to look to make sure we're all healthy, ready to go, and pull out all the stops to get that first one at home, and then like I said, we'll adjust game 2 that way. But we'll make that final decision today after practice.
David, what is it about Gregory-Portland that makes it such a big squad?
I mean, first and foremost, they're well coached. They've got a wealth of talent, guys that love to play the game, and I think that's the separator for a lot of quality teams. There's guys who would like to play baseball or quote-unquote play baseball, but when you love to play, it shows in the field, that's going to carry you through a lot. So on top of the coaching and the talent, it's just obviously the love and passion those kids have for the game. And the community at GP, I mean, I've been around here in the South Texas for a while, and had some serious awards with GP going back to the Freddie Flores days. So I know what this community brings when it comes to baseball time. So you put all that together, and you've got ingredients for a well-run program and a program that can sustain long-term success.
And as a footnote here, you started your career as a coach in Coastal Bend at Gregory-Portland.
Yeah, 2000, I moved down here just random. After getting back from playing and coaching in Australia for 3 years, I said, let's try something different. Came down here and worked with Freddie and Brett DeGage, the head coach at that time. Didn't work out to stay here long term, but it was one of those things that I always remember being here. The community was awesome when I was here. Freddie Flores is still probably one of my best friends. I talk to consistently. So I have a lot of memories of being down here, and this area is nice. Like I said, I understand what it is to be part of this. Even when I was at TM, we had a pretty good rivalry. So, yeah, it's got one of those things that, in the back of your mind is just how you started, but we got to move on from that.
What about Carroll? Presents challenges for you?
For me, I guess they probably being 0-6 at some point felt like they had nothing to lose. I think that's what makes them dangerous. A lot of people don't think that they're even supposed to be here, and they get on a roll, and you've got good hitters. It's one of the things that every team that I face that Coach Marcelo coaches, they can hit the ball, whether it was at TM or whether it was at Carroll. They do a really good job to hit the ball. We feel like we've got some guys on the mound that can maybe neutralize that. But the one thing that also stands out to me when I watch you guys play is the energy that you have in your dugout. I think that says a lot about their team. It's not just the 9 guys that are out on the field, it's other guys that are in the dugout providing energy. That's one of the things that sticks out to me when I see those guys play. So they're going to be a tough opponent. Again, they probably have a little chip on their shoulder. We've got probably a pretty good target on our back with the ranking and us being district champs. And I'm sure they feel like they've been a little bit disrespected early in the season because they've had some injuries and they got to a slow start. So So it's going to be a war. It's going to be a challenge. I think we're just going to roll up to the field and play 2 games and go play next week. And we have another day coming for us. It's going to be tough. It's going to be well coached. They're going to hit the ball. So hopefully we play a little bit better.
Ronnie, talk a little bit about the 3 young men that you brought today.
Yeah, it's not the big 3, but we got 3 pretty good ones. We got Malachi Lawton, who's a senior outfielder pitcher for us. He's been pretty dominant on the mound. I think he's 11-0 this year. Then next to him, we got Walker Yannick, who's our catcher. He pitches a little bit for us also. Leads the team, I think, in stolen bases. Bats for really high average and one of the leaders in our ball club. And then next to him, you got Robbie Spencer, who's all year has been very, very productive for us on the mound. I think he's 11-1 on the season. And he's starting to light it up offensively, too. So we got 3 seniors here today. They play a huge role in what we do. Not only on the field, but also in the dugout. So we're going to be missing these 3 lately, not only from a production standpoint, but also from a leadership standpoint.
And then, David, your players representing the Tigers.
I mean, I'm not sitting here today, and Carroll's not even being talked right now. It wasn't for these guys. Especially, these 3 are important because 2 of them for their senior leadership. Just touch back on what Coach said about the energy in our dugout. That is a direct correlation to when JJ Gilbert were both out of the lineup, and they both really took it upon themselves to get those role players, bench guys, to understand what's going to take part of that in-game deal. We all understand what you got to do in practice, but really JJ and Gilbert just got those guys and said, here's how we're going to do this. And those games that they both were out of the lineup, their biggest contribution was on game day to the dugout, making sure the other guys understood what it took to be live, and it's just carried on. So it's been phenomenal to see. But JJ, he's a senior leader. This kid, has almost been unconscious to play. If he's not hitting the ball, then it's probably going to be a ball. He's just that locked in, playing, solid defense at second base. Nick Matridis, been rock solid for us on the mound. He started off, with a hard luck guy early on, taking a bunch of those losses. Probably some deserved, some not so. But he's really committed himself to the process. He works every day. Plays a solid right field, and he's really been big with the bat as well. I mean, a 2-run single the other day against Porter was the difference maker at the top end beginning there on the mound and solid. And then Gilbert, another senior center fielder. This guy's full of energy. He's all in 100%. He wants to, you come to practice for us, he's going to want to play every single position. Inner squad or BP, he's going to take it at short, or talk a little mess to everybody else. But he's going to be all in, and he knows only one way to play, and that's full on. That's what I love about these guys. Their passion and love for the game is off the charts as well. It's just fun to be around these guys. But, when you said to bring 3 guys, it's kind of like, picking your best or your favorite, children. I love all these guys, but these guys are definitely fun to be around and enjoy.
JJ, you have a reputation as being the embodiment of the Carroll brand. You play with a lot of joy and a lot of passion. Looking back over the course of the last 2 months, do you ever wonder how your ball club got here, how you got here?
I just started off in the fall. We all got together like a family and started working out together, started practicing together, started having team dinners together, and we're all sticking together. And every time we play together, every bat just gets passed to the next guy.
Can you talk a little bit about the season from your perspective, both your personal experience and your club?
Starting off the season 0-6 really helped us get together and work more as a team to come back from that huge bump in the road in our season. And, being in that position just really strengthened us. We just got out of it and fortunately we're here.
And then Gilbert, from your perspective, kind of share your views on how the season's going.
There's been like a bump in the road, like Nick said, but we always knew that we had the guys on the field, in the dugout, ready to rock at all times. So it was no surprise to us that we're here.
Gilbert, if you wouldn't mind hanging on to that mic for a moment. Your brother caught at Carroll a few years ago, Hector, and we know he had a strong impact on you in your career. What did he teach you about being a Carroll ball player?
He taught me to always go out there and work and never take anything for granted because you never know when it could be your last game. So I took that from him and learned to always go out there and be ready to play and fight like it's my last game.
And then coming back this way, another question for you, Nick. You're coming off of a dominant pitching performance down on the V against Brownsville on Saturday when you had the Chase Fields, some adverse weather. What worked particularly well for you that day? And the other two, if you wouldn't mind addressing the second question, what was it like to come back to Corpus as the area champs?
Going into that game, I knew that they weren't the best hitting team, so I just stuck with my game plan and attacked the hitters, and they just not getting themselves out.
Any, and just the response of the club on wrapping up that second round playoff win and coming back?
It was good because we know it's a good spot.
Gilbert or JJ, you want to take that one as well? The accomplishment of being in the third round?
It's just all the hard work that we put in. We knew we could be here, and we knew what kind of team we had. So just being here is just the game plan, and we're trying to go even further.
You know, Robbie, you enjoyed a lot of consistency this year on the mound. Your bat, in particular, has really heated up in recent weeks. What's been the difference for you?
The main difference is the work put in the hitting. Spent a lot of hours outside of school just really trying to focus on hitting off the tee, getting my dad to go with me and hitting the cage. That's been the big difference maker in my hitting as of late.
Do you feel when you're on the mound as though, you know, obviously you're more involved in the game because both pitching and hitting in the same game. You prefer that to just DHing?
Yeah, I like playing both parts, and there's a different mindset being pitching and hitting in the same game than just DHing. And I think I prefer playing and hitting at the same time.
Ron, you talked about how both the 21 game winning streak and the Carroll loss has benefited the team. Expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't say it benefited us, but yeah, something like that. We were talking in the dugout the other day, and I think your question was like, when did the season kind of feel surreal? Or when did that moment happen for you? To me, it was when we lost to Carroll Tigers. Looking in our dugout, we were real kind of dejected and rallied the guys together. And I said, guys, we've had a great run so far. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We're sitting here, I think it was 22-1-1 at the time. And if I were to tell you, hey, at the beginning of the season, we're going to start out 22-1-1. Would you take it? They all like, pretty good season. And so for me, I kind of felt, I don't want to say we were going through the motions, but it was just easy. And everything was easy. And at that point now we had to start fighting for things, and it started to become a little bit more difficult. And so that loss to Carroll, I'll never say that it helped us or benefited us, because if we could have won that game, I don't know if we win that game. But it was also a point in the season where we were like, hey, if we don't play our best baseball, we're going to get beat. And we talked about it, but until it happens, you don't really, I guess, understand and think that it could happen. You want to think it could happen until it happens. So, yeah, the loss to Carroll was kind of, I don't want to say a turning point in our season, but it's definitely one of those times where you can look back and say, I hope we learned something from it.
You characterize it as a wake-up call?
That was a wake-up call, for sure. Like I said, I kind of felt like we were just maybe going through the motions, or maybe we hadn't faced a whole bunch of adversity up to that point. So that was kind of our first big test.
This was for either of the three GP guys. What's enabled y'all to play such a high level, such a long stretch?
I'd probably say going to practice every day, working together as a team. I mean, every time we show up to the field, we go in the dugout, we're all hyped, we're all amped up, we know what we can do. So definitely carries a lot of momentum going into the games, and when we perform, we know it pays off. So next week, we continue to do the same thing and just keep working.
One of y'all want to take that as well? You want to know, I'll rephrase it. What's enabled your club to play such a high level for such long periods of time?
I think it all started in the fall whenever we had a bunch of good games and against like some mediocre teams, and then season kind of moved on, and practice and stuff. And we knew we had to do before the season started. And when the first couple games started, we had a couple really good games, and a couple games that we kind of fell short, but still got the win. And that's when I realized that.
Milwaukee, you're not known for swinging a big bat, but you're really in control of the running game. I looked at the stats, 2 successful stolen base attempts all year, and just 6 tries. In terms of coaching your game behind the plate, who's been the most helpful?
I'd probably say Coach Omar, just because we catch Randy every day, almost every day, and he tells me like he doesn't know much, but he'll tell me when I look good and I don't, so that helps me a lot with like back facing and having my footwork really like, down to the pin and blocking and all that stuff and making sure that no one knows those bases on me.
And the answer may seem obvious, but in the overall scheme of things, how important is that aspect of it?
Are you talking about control and running game? Yeah, I mean, we work in practice, but it's not the emphasis that I've had to worry about in years past. In years past, we're always working first and third, 2 to 3 times a week. We're working picks and different things, but walking behind the plate, it's kind of like, hey, if you want to run. I'm sure he's back there like, I dare you to. And so, that's the kind of mindset that you want. And he's got a big-time arm. Our pitchers do a pretty good job of giving them a chance to throw out runners. But at the end of the day, they don't want to run on. He's had 6 attempts, I think, all year. He's had 2 stolen bases. I know one of them was a delayed so that we just didn't have a chance to throw the guy out. And I'm sure the other one was probably slow to play or something like that. But if he's going to get an opportunity to throw somebody out, he's going to throw somebody out. And we better not get too far off the bat because he'll back pick you at first, he'll back pick you at second, he'll back pick you at third. So he's great to have. He can kind of erase some mistakes. If we walk a guy or if we commit an error, Walker, good chance he might back pick the guy first. So he's great to have back there behind the plate. His throwing is great. That's what everybody sees. But the other thing that he provides is he gets a lot of strike stolen for us. And that's what people don't maybe see is his ability to receive the ball. So that's very valuable. I'd say probably more valuable than his throwing skills. We're very fortunate to have a guy like Walker down the plate.
Mike, how do you think GP is picking at the right time?
Yes, sir, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say peaking. I mean, we've been doing this all season. We had a few rough starts, but I think we're definitely building up every game, and we're just going to get better.
Either one of you two want to address that as well?
Like I said, we're not really peaking, but we are picking up momentum as we go, and that's our goal. We want to keep getting better. We don't want to die down or plateau. We want to keep picking up, and it seems like we're doing that right now.
Both your teams are known for solid defense. That's been a big key to the success of each team. The Wildcats, 36 errors in 36 games, fielded 961. Carroll fielded 961 as well. They have the same defensive percentage with 1 less error. Talk a little bit about your defenses and maybe some of the guys who aren't here today and how important that's been to success.
I mean, obviously in baseball, the whole game is predicated on the fact that the defense has the ball. Pitchers, the game can't occur if the pitchers have to throw a pitch. So you got to be in tune defensively with your pitcher, and that's something we've worked on quite a bit. As far as make sure our prep steps are on point, and that we're all locked in with our pitching staff. And that's taken a lot of work, and we've been able to do it. We've made it fun at times, trying to make competitions out of it all. But defense is key, and especially down here with such a highly competitive baseball area, you got to be on point. And if you give a team extra outs in an inning, you're going to really be in trouble. So you've got to minimize damage when you can, and obviously pitching and defense do that. It's not the old days where your bats can make up for all those mistakes. Balls don't fly out the way they used to. So you really got to stress the defense. And thankfully, our kids have really enjoyed playing defense, and that's also something you got to really hope your kids do. Most kids nowadays, you see little kids coming to your camps, like, do a swing. They don't care about throwing the ball or hitting or fielding it. They just want to swing the bat. So our kids have bought into defense, and we have competitions in the outfield, among our outfielders doing BP, who can catch more balls, track them down, get points, all that kind of junk. And of course, our outfielders want to go play the infield, and our infielders want to play the outfield, so they all get a good taste of what that's like. So I think that helps perspective. But defense is key, and like I said, our kids enjoy playing it, and it's not always perfect and clean, but right now, when it counts most, we're making plays we have to.
I think if you ask any baseball coach, they're going to tell you pitching and defense is the only championships, and we've been fortunate this year that we've got guys that are pretty athletic and they can make plays. But fielding percentage is it's one of those stats that it can play tricks on you. We've got a high fielding percentage, number one, because we've got a lot of strikeouts. So that counts in your fielding percentage as well. So anytime you can strike out 10 a game, your fielding percentage ought to be pretty darn good. So that plays a factor in it. But if I'm going to brag on our defense, the first thing I'm going to go to, it's not going to be the fielding percentage. It's going to be the fact that we're pretty smart when we handle the ball. I don't feel like we give up extra bases. We don't miss cutoffs. We don't make unforced errors. You're going to get on base, and if you're going to move base to base, you're going to earn it. And at the high school level, if you can make teams do that, it's going to be hard to score runs, especially if you have a quality pitching staff like we do. So that's one of the things that we take pride in practice is not only making a routine play, but also making sure that you're not giving up extra bases because you miss a cut or because you're not in the right spot at the right time. And so that's one of the things that we take pride in. I definitely think as strong as our defense is and as good as our pitching is, we feel like if we can score 3 or 4, we got a really good shot to win the ball.
Obviously, if you were playing different clubs, your coaches and everything they could to prepare you for round 3, but you're not playing different clubs, you're playing in district. How hard are we all rooting for each other to advance to get to this point over the week?
We wanted to play these guys over here, so we were rooting for them pretty hard. I'm pretty sure they wanted to play us too. So I'd like to hope they were rooting for us. But
I was definitely rooting for you guys because I don't want to make another 3-hour trip down here now.
Anybody else want to take that one?
Yeah, I was really rooting for them to win against Brownsville. Whenever we beat them first, and then they beat us, and then now it's going to be like head-to-head. It's going to come out on top. So it's going to be a pretty good game.
I have one for Coach Jonesy and one for Coach Marcelo. Coach Jonesy, with the kickoff move that the Rattlers had down especially third place and then there, was that something you guys had scouted out from before to really work on? Because the whole team bought into it, but you didn't get the chance to see it. I mean, throw, first base was up, and second base and everybody catching, they're all running, trying to go down, trying to get the guy off. And a little league, I guess you say.
Yeah, that was a grand illusion.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went, Coach Zepeda actually went down and scouted the round before, and it's something that they tried twice. And so we kind of knew it was coming. Still, the kids can't freak out, and they've got to be able to execute and not go anywhere. But we did know it was coming. And, so Coach Zepeda did a really good job of going down there and kind of scouting that one out. They tried it twice against whoever they tried to play in the first round. So we kind of knew it was coming, but you just never know when it's going to come.
Coach Marcelo, with the rowdy crowds that we've heard about the Valley baseball, how passionate their fans are, and you were going down to Brownsville, and I know everybody was thinking, well, this rain's coming, you got to change venues, this is going to be a pain in the butt. Do you think it benefited if you go into a neutral site, losing a lot of their raucous fans they had?
I'm not quite sure at that point, 4 or 5 hours later, how much of a benefit was for anybody for sitting around all that time. And our guys were in the gym. I don't know, they're playing football, they're throwing volleyballs around, shooting hoops. I mean, they were acting like little kids. I mean, I don't even think they were thinking about. I don't even know if they knew how much time had passed. But me, I was on the field the entire time thinking, what the heck are we doing? So yeah, to me, it was, I go through all this machination in my mind about how this is going to affect our guys. But like I said, we've gone through so much adversity and different scenarios for the past 6 weeks that Nothing really phases these guys, and they're so tight together that it was just like, we're getting on the bus again, where are we going? No, who cares, let's just get it done. And their fans showed up at Libby. It wasn't like they were going to miss that trip either. So, but to me, and I always say this, and it doesn't matter how rowdy a team is, the start of a game or in the middle of a game, or once you get up on them, or you put them down a little bit, that rowdiness tends to fade. And we saw it the week before at RGC, how quickly that table turned. A lot of noise coming from the dugout, and all of a sudden we put a 6 spot up, and you thought you were the board. So we knew if we could just get runs early and put guys on the bags, we'd be in good shape. So, but ultimately, to answer the question short, I don't think it affected these guys at all. They just wanted to play and get it done.
A question from both sets of players. He mentioned that Coach Wood during the district play had not. How much does it help? Playing these guys before, speaking before. How much does that help when your biggest playoff series
Probably it doesn't really help a lot because we're both really good teams, and we know how to switch up our game plans and know how to go with the flow. I'd rather be playing a Valley team than another Corpus team. Our district was very tough.
I think it helps a lot, knowing like all the things they do, all the things they do well, things they do bad. I think if we attack the things that they do bad and try to limit the things that they do good, then I think we'll come out on top.
Guys, I think the TV reporters are anxious to get some one-on-ones. Appreciate you coming.
Sir, appreciate you having us.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap up the session with the Gregory-Portland Wildcats and the Carroll Tigers. And actually, that's going to wrap up the press conference here between these two teams. So let's kind of just wrap things up ourselves. We're going to go ahead and give you the schedules for both of these teams one more time. And again, keep in mind there will be a venue change to the Gregory-Portland and Carroll schedule. So let's get you that one up first. Quarterfinal series between these two teams, it starts tomorrow, and that is at Cabinets Field. That one will stay the same. So tomorrow, 7 p.m., Cabinets Field, weather permitting, that one will stay the same. The dates and times for games 2 and 3 will stay the same as well. So game 2 scheduled for Thursday, 7 p.m. But instead of being played here in Portland, it's going to be played in Ingleside due to the weather. So the conditions here in Portland, their field, just too soggy for them to be able to go on that particular field. So they'll move it to Ingleside. Same thing for Game 3 if necessary. It will be Saturday. It will be 1 p.m., but it will be in Ingleside. And we got that. I actually got that this morning when I got here, so wasn't able to change the graphic in time. So Cabinets tomorrow and Ingleside Thursday and Saturday if necessary for this series. So we expect a great series between these two teams. Again, let me give you their records. These two teams, they split their district games. Gregory-Portland Wildcats winning the first round. 8-0 was the score. And that game was in Portland. And then the Carroll Tigers getting that 10-0 win in 5 innings in the second time they met up. That game was on a Saturday afternoon at Cabinets Field. So the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, the winners of 29-5A, they are 33-2-1 overall, ranked number 1 or number. Actually, let me see. I'm going to check on that real quick. They're ranked now number 2 or number 3, depending on the poll. So they're ranked number 3 in the Texas High School Baseball Coaches Association poll as of May 10th. And they are ranked number 2 in the TexasHighSchoolBaseball.com poll. That is as of May 3rd. So the Gregory-Portland Wildcats and the Carroll Tigers, the fourth place finish in 29-5A. They are 21-13-1 overall, and both of these teams just playing really, really well. Coming into this matchup, I mentioned before, the Gregory-Portland Wildcats on a 10-game win streak coming into this weekend, and the Carroll Tigers, perhaps one of the hottest teams in the state, perhaps, are the Carroll Tigers. Just playing some really good, really confident baseball are the Carroll Tigers. So that is the series matchup for this one. And let's get you the schedule for Ray and Veterans Memorial. Ray and Veterans Memorial, they'll kick things off Thursday night. Again, weather permitting, that's a 7 p.m. first pitch. They'll play again Game 2 on Friday, 7 p.m. first pitch. And Game 3, if needed, that'll be on Saturday at noon. All games at Cabinets Field. And again, that is weather permitting. You heard Coach Yeager talking about maybe some backup, Plan B, Plan C, just in case they aren't able to get those games in. And so they're trying to have another plan available for them. And that's going to wrap it up. I want to give you real quick, we'll give you the Blast Vision schedule. Let me go back to 361hsblast.com, and we'll get you the Blast Vision schedule. So 361hsblast.com, click on the Blast Vision tab up at the top, and let's get our schedule here. This is our schedule for the weekend, and I'm going to go over it with you here real quick before we go off the air. Now, we are working hard to try and get an additional team, if we can get an additional team, so that we can bring you some more ball games. But this is our initial schedule. This is what we're for sure going to do. If we can get some more games in there, we're certainly going to try and do that. There's tons of good baseball going on around the area. Several 3A teams, 4 3A teams still involved, 4 4A teams still, in the hunt, and then of course these 4 5A teams. So on Blast Vision, we'll kick off on Wednesday. That's tomorrow night, 7 p.m. We'll have that Gregory-Portland Carroll game, and then we'll be back on the air Thursday with the second game in that series. Again, 7 p.m. first pitch. On Friday, we will have Tolosa Midway at Alice. That's a one-game playoff between those two teams. We'll have that for you, that game being played in Alice. We'll have that for you on Friday. And Saturday, we're going to play it by ear. We're going to see how it goes. And to be quite honest with you, this whole schedule might be play it by ear with the weather. But this is how we have it lined up right now. Blast Vision 2, Rudy Trevino, the full crew is back. And so Rudy Trevino's back. Justin Perales is back. We may have some additional help. We're like I said, we're waiting to see on that. But with Rudy back, he'll take over on Blast Vision 2. He'll start Thursday with the Veterans Memorial Race Series. He'll have them again on Friday night for Game 2. And again, Saturday will be to be determined for both Blast Vision and Blast Vision 2. So we'll keep you guys up to date with that on our social media page. But that is our schedule for right now. We'll keep you posted with any changes that might happen due to the weather as well. So but that's going to do it. That's going to pretty much wrap things up for us here. I want to thank Matt Rogers for inviting us. Of course, we want to thank the Carroll Tigers, the Gregory-Portland Wildcats, the Ray Texans, and the Veterans Memorial Eagles for joining us out here. Like I said, pretty exciting. We haven't seen anything like this since 2017. And if the pattern continues and it is just like 2017, and then we could be doing this again in a couple of weeks with a couple of local teams on their way, to fighting each other for a chance to go to the state tournament. That is what all 4 of these teams are hoping will happen. Only 2 of them are going to be left standing if that scenario were to come through. But I know all 4 of them are certainly capable of making it happen. So pretty exciting. I do want to give a shout out also to District 3A. Same scenario for those guys. They've got 4 district teams matching up in the quarterfinals. You have the London Pirates matching up with Hebronville. You also have Banquete and Bishop matching up. So all four of those teams from that district, 33A, matching up. We want to wish all of them the best of luck. We're certainly trying to get some of their ball games in as well, and that's one of the things we're working on trying to do. Again, another big congratulations to the 4A teams. You have Sinton and Sweeney, or Sinton matching up with Sweeney, Cal Allen matching up with Hondo, and then that Tolosa Midway Alice game that we'll be at on Friday. And so we want to wish all four of those teams the best of luck as well. Great things going on, always great baseball in South Texas, and we're just happy to be a small part of it. So we will see you guys tomorrow night, weather permitting. Like I said, we'll keep you posted on social media with any changes on Blast Vision and on 361 HS Blast. They are on Twitter and on Facebook as well, so be sure to check that out. Before we go off the air, don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. That way you don't miss any of the action. I want to thank everybody who was watching today. We certainly want to thank everybody who hit us up on the chat. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you tomorrow. Jake Vasquez signing out. Blast Vision live from Portland, Texas.